Good morning. Today is Tuesday, November 16th, 2021. Today is a B day.
As a reminder to our students, you must have your ID with you at all times. There will be a various security checks throughout the building where your ID will need to be presented if you are in the hallway after the bell. If you do not have your ID, you will be detained.
Ms. Caldera will be holding STEP team auditions in the dance studio on Tuesday, November 16th at 2:45. Auditions and no later than 4 and transportation home must be arranged. Please make every effort to be there. Dress accordingly and be on time if you are interested in auditioning. Please also check your emails for important information and packets.
Winter cheerleading tryouts are November 16th, 15th, 16th, and 17th from 3 to 5 p.m. at South Middle School. You must attend all these dates. All athletes need an updated physical and must register on Family ID.
The Empire program will run on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2:20 to 3:50. There is no busing yet. Please see Mr. Cruz in 264 or Miss Salisbury in the main office for more information and schedules. Seal of Biliteracy, us in room 213 with Miss Van Reyes and Miss Mendez. Music will be in 258 with Dr. Carroll. If you are already registered, report directly to these rooms upon dismissal. Other activities will be announced soon. Attention seniors, Life Touch will be here the week of December 6th for senior portraits. Senior portraits are by appointment only. If you do not have your confirmed code to make an appointment, see Miss Krakalici Caswell in room 280. Life Touch will be here on Monday, December 6th for underclassmen photo makeup day. If you have missed having your photo taken in November, you can get it on December 6th during your lunch or study hall. This is the last day that Life Touch will be here. Underclassmen photos.
We are hosting our Mercy College Instant Decision on Monday, November 15th at the SUNY Herkimer Instant Decision Day on Wednesday, November 17th. Registration in Naviance is required.
Additionally, we are hosting a virtual financial aid night on Monday, November 15th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Register in advance to access the Zoom link for the event.
Student Council and ROTC are sponsoring a food drive from Monday, November 8th through Friday, November 19th for the food bank of the Hudson Valley. Please bring a non-perishable donation to any of those locations, admin offices, library, or ROTC. Thank you for helping those in need.
Thanks for watching and have a good day, NFA.
Hello, my name is Mr. Sohan. I teach a course in biology. It's called the human body. And today we're going to look at the eyeball. And we're going to talk about the structure of the eyeball, the anatomy of the eyeball. And in addition to that, we're going to perform some tests to determine the acuity of vision. We could also do some tests to test for depth perception, the eyeball's role in depth perception. We're going to do something that will allow us to demonstrate the fact that behind our eyes we have what's called a blind spot. And then lastly, we're going to do what's called a fusion test. Okay, so when it comes to vision and how we see things, it's kind of like an interaction between things inside the eye called receptors and how they communicate with the brain. Okay, so the receptors that are inside the eye are in this orange layer here, and these are called photoreceptors. We have two types. We have rods, which are for like very dim light, seeing in the dim light, which are for black and white vision, and then we have cones, which give us our color vision. But anyway, all these different receptors line the orange layer called the retina, and then they all converge in the back of the eye at this spot right here, which is called the optic disc. And if you look in the back of the eye, you can see how the optic disc comes out the back of the eye. So because of we need space for the nerves to come out of the eye, we can't have any receptor cells in those spots. So what happens is each eye has a blind spot because we can't put receptor cells that are sensitive to the sun or to light in that spot. So each eye has a blind spot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to demonstrate your blind spot. All right, so an easy way to show your blind spot or to find your blind spot is to use this simple test. What you're going to do is you're going to cover one eye and you're going to put your right thumb over the X. Do not look at the dot, just look at the X. And when you bring the paper in, you'll see that dot will disappear, but you can only see the dot in your peripheral vision. Don't look directly at it. As you bring it in slowly, the dot will disappear, and then as you bring it in further, it'll reappear. So let me know. That comes over. See it?
Yeah, now it's gone.
Now it's gone. Now it's back. She'll show me exactly. Do it again. A little slower. When does it go away?
Right now.
Okay, so now it's gone. Keep going.
Right now.
Back. Okay, so the reason why it disappears is because that light that is reflecting off that dot is being focused on that area behind the eye that doesn't have any rods and cones where the optic nerve is exiting. So that's the blind spot. Okay, so with humans, obviously we don't have one eye, we have two eyes. And we have binocular vision, so both eyes are always out in front, and both eyes are always receiving information. Now, if I'm looking at something to the left or right, both eyes can pick it up, but they're going to be receiving it at different angles, right? So when the information comes back into the brain to be processed, we have images that are at different angles, and that information is going to be fused, right, in what's called the optic chiasma, which is kind of in the middle of the brain, and then it'll go to the back of the brain at the occipital lobes where it's processed. But because we have information coming from two eyes at two different angles, it gives us what's called depth perception. It allows us to see in 3 dimensions. Okay, so our depth perception comes from the fact that we are using two eyes. So when we lose vision in one eye, it affects our depth perception. So let's demonstrate that. So a very simple test that demonstrates depth perception is this test that we can use 2 very small graduated cylinders and a pen. When I have both eyes open, my depth perception is pretty high. So I have good depth perception. So I should be able to take my pen and insert it into the graduated cylinders pretty easily, like so. Oh, I missed that one time. So I was 4 for 5. Now, if I was to cover one eye and do it, I would lose depth perception, or my depth perception wouldn't be as good. And then if I was to do the same test again, I might find it to be a little bit more difficult. So if I cover one eye and do it, 2, I'm missing 3. Oh boy, that was bad. 4, I got 1. 5, I got 2. Okay, so I went from 4 to 5 with both eyes to 2 to 5 with only one eye. When we have both eyes looking at objects, the images in the brain become fused or they become blended. Sometimes we can interrupt this by isolating one eye, by surrounding it with a tube. Now it becomes more difficult for this information in the brain to blend or to fuse. And the brain will have a difficult time processing this information. We're going to demonstrate this by doing the test called hole in the hand. This test is pretty simple. What you're going to do is you're going to take this tube and you're going to put it over your eye, and you're going to keep both eyes open. You have to focus on something. We're going to focus on the wall, and when you're looking at it with both eyes, what happens is one eye is being isolated, so the brain is getting the message, but it's not so clear. So what happens is when you look at the image, keeping both eyes open, put your hand up against this tube, and you tell me what happens.
It looks like you're like looking through.
It it looks like it's going right through the middle of your hand like that. So yeah, that's because normally when we're looking at things with two eyes, things get picked up by both eyes and they get blended nicely. But when we isolate one eye, the brain has a hard time processing. So this is what's called the Snellen eye chart, and this measures visual acuity. You may be seeing one of these at motor vehicle department when you have applied to get your driver's license. They'll make you read from these lines. Now, normal vision, I don't know, maybe you've heard is 20/20 vision, right? So, well, what does that mean? Well, this line right here says 20/20 next to it. That means if you stand 20 feet away from here, you should be able to read this line. And that's what normal vision is. A person with normal vision should be able to read that line from 20 feet away. Now, if you could read the smaller one, this from 20 feet away, you would have what's called 20/15 vision. So you could read, what that means is, you could read from 20 feet away what a person with normal vision has to stand 15 feet away. Okay, so your vision is a little bit better. If you go above, the numbers change the opposite way. So if you could read this one from 20 feet away, your vision isn't quite as good. You would have 20/25 vision. So what that means is you could read from 20 feet what the normal eye can read from 25 feet. And you can see it gets much worse. If you could only read this one from 20 feet, then your vision would be described as being 2100. That would mean that you could read from 20 feet what a normal eye can read from 100 feet. Okay? So let's see where you are. So let's do a test that measures your visual acuity. Let's start at 20/20. Tell me if you could read this line right here. Okay, that's very good. So you have normal vision. Let's see if your vision is better than normal. Let's read line number 9. Very good. Try number 10.
F, D, P, L, T, C, E, O.
Correct.
Was that correct?
The last one.
F, E, O, L, C, F, T.
No, we had some errors there. So this is where you ended up. So this says 2013. So for you personally, you can see from 20 feet what the normal eye has to stand at 13 feet. So I get this question a lot. What is the purpose of this lesson? I remember being in school thinking that the same question to myself in math, looking at these complex math problems. What is the purpose of this? What am I going to use this? Well, believe it or not, in this class, this is called the human body, and we all have those. So it's important to know the parts of the body and how they work. So the anatomy and the physiology. And this is especially true for the eyes. Now, some of us are going to go into the medical field. Maybe after graduation, you're going to go into sports medicine. Maybe you're going to go into nursing, or maybe you're going to be a doctor or something like that. So having a basic understanding of the human anatomy and the physiology is very important in order to go on and do something like